Hey guys, what's up, what's happening? You got the King of Games 98 here. How you doing? Hope y'all are doing good and staying safe. And for today's video, I wanted to change it up and try something new because I believe the change is good, and I also believe in keeping the content on my YouTube channel new and fresh and different. You know, I don't want to keep putting out the same kinds of videos about similar content or the structure of my videos being in the same way. I don't like doing that. So earlier this week, I made a poll on Twitter asking my subscribers if they would like to see videos of my video game collections for different consoles that I own. And the answer ended up coming back, yes. So without further ado, this is going to be the first video like that, and I'm just really testing the waters to see how well this video does. If it does do well, and if enough people like it and comment saying that they liked it and would like to see more videos like this, I will be very happy and glad to do that. Without further ado, we are kicking off this video with my PlayStation Vita game collection. Oh yeah, that's right. We're kicking it off with a banger of a handheld, the freaking PlayStation Vita. Now, as of the recording of this video, I own two different Vita handhelds and the wonderful little PlayStation Vita TV. I'm going to do close-up shots of these real quick, and then we'll get to my actual Vita game collection. So this is, of course, if you didn't already know, the PlayStation Vita model 1000. Is it 1000 or 1001? Yes, it is the PlayStation Vita model 1001 OLED. And this is the launch model. This is what it looked like. It's... Oh, all right, not gonna... All right. It's a little thick and bulky, but I don't mind it. And, you know, it's got a little weight to it. But the freaking screen on this, you can really tell it is, in fact, an OLED screen by how sharp the picture quality looks, the colors look. Everything looks really good running on this model PlayStation Vita handheld. And then my second PlayStation Vita handheld is the... Oh no, we went really dark there. Okay, there we go. And then my second PlayStation Vita handheld... Why does this keep doing this? My second PlayStation Vita handheld I own is the PlayStation Vita Slim model, or the 2000 model. 2001 model, excuse me. And this is a lot thinner and slimmer, as you can tell, than the original 1000 model was. But the only downside to that is it does not have an OLED screen. It has a regular LCD touchscreen, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they did do that to kind of make it cheaper, cut costs. I understand that. And like playing games on this one is great too, but it's just not the same as the 1001 OLED model. Now, in case any of you who are watching this are wondering, why is my Slim Vita model 2001 in this nice light blue color? And well, that is because, ladies and gentlemen, this PlayStation Vita Slim model 2001 in this color in North America was a GameStop exclusive handheld in this color. Yep, I found that out, and blue happens to be my favorite color. And the year I found that out, I told my dad about it and how bad I really wanted it for Christmas. And he came through for me and got it for me for Christmas. And I am still in love with it just as much as the first day I got it on Christmas morning. I absolutely love this. This is one of the nicest looking handhelds I think I own in my entire handheld video game collection. Wow, this is really not autofocusing, guys. Oh, there we go. Now it decides to autofocus. Ah. Okay, so there's that guy. And then last but certainly not least, like I mentioned, I own the PlayStation Vita TV, or as it was known as the PlayStation TV in North America. In Japan, it was called the PlayStation Vita TV. In North America, it was just called the PlayStation TV. Kind of dumb if you ask me. They should have just left it PlayStation Vita TV. I think that would have made a lot more sense, but what do I know? And yeah, this is the console. It is very small and it is very tiny, and you legit hook it up to a TV. And basically this lets you play PlayStation Vita games on your TV. And this is the PlayStation TV model 1001. VTE 1001. Yep. I love it. This opens up at the top here. And you just pop the game cartridges in right there. It's great. And what I love even more about the PlayStation Vita TV is you can connect either a PS3 DualShock 3 controller to this or a PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 controller to this thing and play your PlayStation Vita games using either a PS3 or PS4 controller. How awesome is that? Like, who wouldn't want to play Persona 4 Golden using a DualShock 3 or DualShock 4 controller? Or who wouldn't want to play, I don't know, what's another video game? Killzone Mercenary using a DualShock 3 or a DualShock 4 controller. I mean, like, come on. That's a no-brainer, right? Yep, so those are my Vita handhelds and the Vita TV I own. And now, without further ado, this is my actual PlayStation Vita game collection. Okay. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, guys, and you're probably thinking, whoa, that's a pretty big stack. And it is. It is. But, you know, PlayStation Vita game cartridges are yay big, and the cases were only yay big. So, in the long run, I know it looks like a lot, but it's really not. Like, these are all the games I own either complete or, you know, in the case. And we got Axiom Verge here because it had to be special in a box. And then in this nice little travel case, I have 4 games that are loose cartridge only and a memory card. So I'm going to go through all the PlayStation Vita games I own in my PlayStation Vita game collection currently, as of the recording of this video, and I'm just going to talk about them. Talk about what I played of them, how much I paid for it, where I got them, stuff like that. And I'm not going to sit here while showing you guys. I'm going to do all close-up shots of the games. So we're going to start with the stack. And like I said, I'm just going to go through every game I own currently in my PlayStation Vita collection. So the first game I have here, and yes, as you can see, I don't have the cover artwork for the game, so I improvised by writing the game's name on a piece of paper and sticking it in there. So as you can see, the first game we're starting off with is PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale for PlayStation Vita. And that, of course, is what the cartridge looks like. You know what? Let me actually take it out. to those of you who have never even seen a PlayStation Vita game. Wow, that is not autofocusing at all. Come on. Hello. Okay, what if we did this? There we go. So that is what a PlayStation Vita game cartridge looks like. It is very thin. Kind of reminds me of an SD card, not going to lie. And yeah, there's the gold fingers or gold contacts, whichever you prefer, on the other side of the cartridge. Now, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Not going to lie to you guys, I have not played a lot of this game. But what I have played of this game, it is basically a Super Smash Bros. Clone made by Sony with well-known video game characters from various Sony-made video game series on their PlayStation consoles. For example, you got Nathan Drake from Uncharted, Kratos, right? I think that's his name, from God of War, Ratchet and Clank from Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter from Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper from the Sly Cooper series, and so on and so forth. So basically, if you played Super Smash Bros., then you would probably enjoy this game. It plays damn near identically. So, yep, that is PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. And I think I picked this up in my local flea market for like $5 or $10. So I figured, why not at that price? Okay, the next Vita game in this stack is Virtue's Last Reward. Not going to lie to you guys, I have not played this game yet. But I do know a little bit about it. So the little bit that I know about it, I will talk about. So Virtue's Last Reward is in with this visual novel video game series made by Axis Games. And it's the follow-up to 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, which I believe was a DS game. It was either a DS game or a 3DS game. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, it's an anime-esque visual novel type game, and it's supposedly pretty good. There's a lot of problem solving and puzzle solving in it, which makes it interesting. So yeah, I also picked this up at my local flea market, I think for $10. So I figured why not at that price. The next game I have in my Vita game collection here is Gravity Rush. Now this game I definitely remember picking up at my local flea market. I want to say I paid either 15 or 20 bucks for it. And what was interesting was I bought this off of this guy that I'm friendly with who is a video game dealer who I won't say is a regular at the flea market, but he'll occasionally set up. I bought this off of him and he priced this way too cheap. Like, I think I paid 20 bucks for this. And at the time I was kind of like thinking that was kind of a lot for that. Then when I got home and looked this game up, this is like a $40 or so game that he way underpriced this. And like, I wasn't going to say anything to him because I was like, he should know what this game is worth, but he just priced it like really cheap. So, you know, as they say, you know, you don't pass on those, you know, opportunities. You got to jump on them and take them. So I did. And unfortunately, guys, I have not played Gravity Rush, although I have watched gameplay of it on YouTube, and I did look it up, like I said, after I got it, and it looks like a really fun, unique action-adventure game. So, definitely looking forward to playing this. Okay, next Vita game. Unfortunately, we do not have its original case. It came in a shitty GameStop case, but that's okay. It is a case nonetheless, and this game should need no introduction. It is The Wolf Among Us, the Telltale games. And not gonna lie, guys, there was a time in my video game collecting days when I would not buy the same game on different consoles. But I started to make an exception with that. And the exception was, if I really enjoyed and loved playing that game, I will buy it for different consoles. Wolf Among Us is a good example of that. I originally bought it for my Xbox 360. I still have it for my 360. And me and Kevin, my best friend, played through it, even though we didn't actually beat the game, but we played it so far that we both love it. And when I found this at a local GameStop by my house, I was like, oh my God, I have to get it. Not only is it Wolf Among Us, but it's Wolf Among Us on Vita, and it's portable. Who doesn't want Wolf Among Us portable? So, if you've never played The Wolf Among Us, it's based off of DC Comics' and Vertigo's, what was it called? Their, shoot. They had a comic book series that this was based off of. Fables. Fables, that was it. This game is based off of their Fables comic book series, or graphic novel series, whichever. And it's just so damn good. I don't really know how to explain to you guys gameplay because it plays like a Telltale game, so you basically choose the dialogue and you interact with people. I don't really know how else to describe it other than that. But the best freaking part about this is it's getting a sequel. Wolf Among Us 2, baby. Let's freaking go. Okay, next Vita game we have here is Mind Zero. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. By Axis Games. Yes. Wow, that just really don't want autofocus. And not gonna lie to you guys, I knew nothing about this game, and I bought it at a GameStop that I happened to be in a mall. Yeah. Don't exactly remember how much I paid for it, but it was when GameStop still sold Vita games, and I don't think they do anymore, but you can correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments. And I looked up gameplay of this game because I never heard of it, and it's actually a really cool looking dungeon crawler RPG. And, you know, of course, it's made by Axis Games, so I'm not really too surprised by that, but it looked really good, so I picked it up. Now, unfortunately, as of this video, I still have not really played this game, so I can't really talk about it any further than that, other than it does look like a really good dungeon crawler RPG game. Okay, next game is Luminous Electronic Symphony. So I bought this game at Next Level Video Games. And I think I only paid, yes, I only paid $10 for this game. And I was really happy about that. I'd never heard of Luminous until I watched a video on YouTube by a YouTube gamer, and I don't remember who it was that I watched their video, but they specifically talked about this game and how it's a fun puzzle rhythm game. And as soon as they said that, they kind of got my attention. And then when they showed the gameplay, I was like, oh my God, I need this. I need this in my life. How would I describe Luminous Electronic Symphony? Well, have you ever played Tetris? Hopefully that's a yes. And if so, then you would love Luminous Electronic Symphony. It is basically a puzzle game very similar to Tetris and has really cool electronic music in the game while playing. I don't really know how to describe it other than that. Oh, and it's published by Ubisoft, by the way, which is freaking amazing. And yeah, Luminous Electronic Symphony. If you've never played this game, whether on Vita or another console, highly recommend, definitely give it a try. Okay, here. Next game, believe it or not, I own 2 copies of, and there's a good reason why. And that game is Persona 4 Golden. Ladies and gentlemen, I have heard from so many people, both in person and online, that Persona 4 Golden is easily the best game on the PlayStation Vita, and this was probably the one and only game you would have to have for the PlayStation Vita. And as a matter of fact, I've even heard some people go as far to say that they bought a PlayStation Vita just to play Persona 4 Golden. Now, as you can both see on both copies, it says only on PlayStation. When this first launched or released, it was only on the PlayStation Vita. It was a Vita exclusive game. As of the recording of this video, I know Atlas released it on Steam, and I believe other consoles. I know it was definitely released on Steam, and I think PlayStation 4? I'm not sure. Don't quote me on the second part, guys, but I know this was definitely released on Steam, and I think PC as well. Well, what can I say? I'm a huge Persona fan, and Persona 4 Golden is literally the best version of Persona 4 ever made that you could get. So, if you've never played a Persona game, how would I describe that to you? Well, it is a JRPG that it is a JRPG that is turn-based. So like think of the older Final Fantasy games. And I like how those play, so that's why I really like how Persona plays. But instead of your character, well, I mean, your character can attack directly, but mainly you control personas and you tell them what to do and they attack for you. And yeah, that's really as brief as a summary as I can get without like really going majorly in depth because, you know, not really doing that with, well, I'm just trying to give a brief description for each game. So, yeah. And I love the game so much, I got a second copy when I bought my Model 1001 OLED Vita, and I couldn't bring myself to sell it. So I just decided to keep it because why not? Next game is Uncharted Golden Abyss. Now, I not only played this game, but I played through and beat the whole game, and come to think of it, I think this is the only other PlayStation Vita related video that is currently up on my YouTube channel. And that was my video game review of Uncharted Golden Abyss. And you know what? I will link that video at the end of this video. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's not in its original case. Got a shitty GameStop case, but that's okay. It's a case nonetheless. And, well, what did I think of Uncharted Golden Abyss? Well, for a portable Uncharted game on a handheld, I freaking loved it. And this game is a prequel to the first game, so it is a prequel to Uncharted Drake's Fortune. So chronologically, this is the first game in the Uncharted series. I loved it. I thought it was a great game portably on a handheld. It looked visually stunning. Picture quality looked great. It looked great, especially running on the OLED 1001 Vita. The screen looked great. The touchscreen QuickTime events were cool. The rear touch sensor was cool. This was just overall, it was a cool experience playing the game on the Vita handheld. Okay, next game up is Tales of Hearts R for PlayStation Vita. This is a PlayStation Vita exclusive game. And on top of that, this specific Tales of game was a GameStop exclusive game, which, ironically, at the time when I bought this game, I did not know that until after I bought it, but I was like, interesting. So,
What can I tell you about Tales of Hearts R? Well, first off, right off the bat, I have not really played this game. So be warned. I can't really tell you a whole lot about this game other than it is made by Bandai Namco. It is a JRPG in the Tales of video game series, and this was a Vita exclusive game, and it was apparently a GameStop exclusive game as well. Other than that, that's all I can tell you for that. I did pick it up at my local GameStop by my house, and I want to say I paid 25 or 30 bucks for it, and it's worth a lot more than that now. as with a lot of other Vita games. Do these in somewhat of an order. Okay, so we have Trails of Cold Steel and Trails of Cold Steel 2, both for PlayStation Vita. Now, again, I have not really played through either of these games, but I do know they are both JRPGs, and they both play. I don't know if they're like open world or if they're. I know that they play turn based, but I don't know if they're actually open world JRPGs or if they play like your regular turn based JRPG. I don't know, but either way, the anime art style is very nice. Both made by Falcom and Exceed. Falcom should need no introduction to JRPG fans because they were responsible for the Ys JRPG video game series that originated on the TurboGrafx CD. And yeah, so not gonna lie, don't really remember how much I paid for both of these, but I did. Oh, and that case just broke. Oh well. But I did buy both of these at my local GameStop, and I don't really remember how much I paid for them. But yeah, definitely good games to have. The next game I have here is Exist Archive, The Other Side of the Sky for PlayStation Vita. I bought this because it was cheap. I really don't know nothing about this game other than it was made by Axis Games. It's an anime-esque game, and I think it's a JRPG. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a turn-based JRPG. It was like 10 or 12 bucks, and so I bought it. And I don't think I did bad at that price. Unfortunately, I can't really tell you anything other than that because I have not actually sat down and played this one. So, yep. Next game is Persona 4 Dancing All Night. This was the other game that was included when I bought my PlayStation Vita model 1001. And this originally was a Vita exclusive game. Now you can play it on Persona, or I almost said Persona 4. Now you can play it on PlayStation 4 and maybe PC. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, so this came with my Vita 1001 OLED handheld, and it's funny, it's the not for resale version too. And at first, I kind of was like, why am I keeping this? I don't really think I would like it. But I did keep it because at first the idea of a Persona 4 dancing rhythm music game didn't really excite me. But then after playing through Persona 4 Golden as far as I got in the game, I didn't actually beat it, but as far as I got, I fell in love with the game's music. And so since this is a very heavily music-centered Persona 4 game, I decided to keep it. And I think that was a really good call because this is, I think, going for pretty good money right now. I don't know. I know Persona 4 Golden at one point was like a $50-$60 game. I'm not really sure about Persona 4 Dancing All Night for PlayStation Vita, but yeah, it was originally a Vita exclusive game, and now there's two other Persona dancing games. Persona 3 Dancing in Starlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Moonlight, I think something like that. And that's great. I love it. because the Persona, one thing the Persona games always excelled at was having fantastic music and soundtracks. So that's awesome. Next game I have is Little Big Planet PlayStation Vita. This is obviously a Vita exclusive game. And well, it's Little Big Planet to go on a handheld. Like we haven't already gotten that before on the PlayStation Portable or PSP. But you know what? That's okay. That is a-okay. I forget if I bought this or if this was a Christmas present from my mom. I don't remember, but it's Little Big Planet, portably. So, what's there not to love? Oh, okay. Next game. Did not have its original artwork, but it is in its original case, and that game is Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. Now, I did not get this with my Vita. I got my Vita Slim 2001 model first, then my OLED 1001 model. But this game was bundled in with a ton of Vita 1001 OLED handhelds when you bought it new. As a matter of fact, when I look at Vita 1001 boxes, almost all of them that I see came bundled with this game. So basically, it's a Call of Duty Black Ops game portably on a handheld. Now, I know that sounds really bad, but the game actually runs really well on the Vita, and graphically, it looks very good too. So what's there not to love about that? Next game we have here is Odin Sphere Liferazer. Yeah, I butchered that, but oh well. For the PlayStation Vita, and this is I believe it's the remake of the original game. Because this game originally came out on the PlayStation 2, and then Atlas re-released it on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. This is obviously the PlayStation Vita version, and it's not in its original case. It's in a GameStop case. Oh well. And well, how does this game play? Well, it's a JRPG, and that's all I can tell you. I haven't actually sat down and played this game, but I know it's a really good game, and the fact that it got remade says something. So I had this game on my list of Vita games I needed, and my mom got it for me for Christmas one year. So that was really cool of her. The next game we have up is Killzone Mercenary for PlayStation Vita. Obviously not an original case. It's a GameStop case. This also kind of surprised me. Like with the Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified game, a freaking Killzone game on a Vita running on a handheld. A first-person shooter, nonetheless, running on a handheld. You would think that this wouldn't be good, but it's actually very good. This is very good. Next game up we have is Akiba's Beat. And this was a PlayStation exclusive game. It wasn't exclusive to the Vita because it was also on PlayStation 4, but it was at least a PlayStation exclusive game. This is an anime-esque turn-based JRPG done by Xseed and Marvelous. Honestly, I have not played this really at all, so that's all I can tell you from it. I can also say I bought it at one of my local GameStops, I think for $15. So I didn't think that was bad at that price. The next game up we have is Operation Babel New Tokyo Legacy. Boy, that was a mouthful. And I took one look at this game and I was like, I have no idea what this is, but it's a Vita game and I don't have it. So I bought it. Makes perfect sense, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I truly know nothing about this game. I believe... Oh. Okay. So, this is a dungeon crawler RPG. Pretty cool. because not many dungeon crawler RPGs are still being made today. So that was probably why I bought it. I believe I bought it at a GameStop, and I don't remember how much I paid for it either. Okay, next game up we have is Muramasa Rebirth for PlayStation Vita. This game was a Vita exclusive game. And the reason why that is because this game originally was released on the Nintendo Wii, and this is the remake of it for PlayStation Vita, done by Access Games, of course. It is in its original case, and it is very clean, and of course, complete in box. And what does this play like? Well, I believe this is a side-scrolling platformer game, but don't quote me on that because I haven't actually sat down and played this. So I think it's a side-scrolling platformer game, but I'm not 100% sure on that. This I did buy from a GameStop, and I think it was either $20 or under. So I didn't think that was bad at that price. Okay, next game up we have is Soul Sacrifice. Love the name, and I love the artwork of this game. Now, this was a Vita exclusive game, by the way. And this, how would I describe this? This is a combination of God of War meets Dark Souls. Yeah, I think that's how I would describe it. God of War meets Dark Souls. And for a Vita game on a handheld, it runs really good. And it looks really good too, graphically. This game, I think I paid like $10 or maybe a little bit more than that. Really good game to pick up if you don't have for your Vita collection on the cheap. Definitely. Okay, next game up we have is Unit 13. I believe this was a launch game for the PlayStation Vita back in 2012, I think it was. Don't quote me on that. And, well, this is a first-person shooter, kind of like Call of Duty. And surprisingly, amazingly, it runs really well on the PlayStation Vita being on a handheld. Yep, I think I paid $10 for this game too. So definitely a good game to get on the cheap. That is definitely for sure. Okay, next game we have is Wipeout 2048. This, I don't know if it is a Vita exclusive game or if it's just a PlayStation exclusive game, but either way, I love me a good racing game, and Wipeout games in general are very good. So when I saw this, my eyes lit up, and I had a big shit-eating grin on my face. And I bought this. Whoops, there goes the card. I bought this from a GameStop, and I want to say I paid like $15 or so for this game. And I was very happy to get it at that. And how does it play? Well, it plays very well on the Vita considering it's a freaking handheld. This game runs, I don't know how many frames per second, but it runs so fast that it makes you think you're playing this on a home console, not a handheld. That's how fast this game runs and how graphically good it looks on a handheld. Okay, next game up we have here is Resistance Burning Skies. Now, this was a PlayStation Vita exclusive game. Obviously, it's not in its original case. It's in a shitty GameStop case, but that's okay. I did buy this at GameStop. I think I paid maybe $15 or $20 for it. And again, like with the Killzone Mercenary and Call of Duty Black Ops, the classified games, this game runs really well on the Vita, considering it's a freaking handheld. And like visually, again, it looks like you're playing a first-person shooter on a home console, not a handheld. So highly recommend that, and Killzone Mercenary, and Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified for that matter. Okay, I'm going to bundle these next two games together because, truth be told, I did buy these together off of the same guy. So we got BlazBlue BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend, excuse me, and then BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Extend. I bought both of these together at the same time off of the same guy, and they both were brand new factory sealed. I enjoy playing these BlazBlue fighting games, so I decided to open Chrono Phantasma Extend, but I left Continuum Shift Extend sealed. So that is still brand new factory sealed, and it is one of Arc System Works' fantastic 2D Japanese fighting games, and it is still very popular today and is, I believe, still played in tournaments today around the world. So that is really cool. All right, coming down to the end of the stack here, we got Ragnarok Odyssey. This, I think, might have also been a launch game for the Vita, and it is just a typical, I think, open world JRPG by Xseed Games. I bought this used at a small business game store when I was on vacation years ago, and I think I only paid $10, maybe $12 for this game. So, pretty happy about that. Another game that I believe launched with the Vita was Freedom Wars, and this is a PlayStation exclusive game because I believe this was also on the PlayStation 4 as well as the Vita. And this is a unique take on an action adventure game that is heavily anime-esque. And that is all I will describe it. That is it. That is the description. I think I maybe paid $10 for it too. I'll add that to it. Next is Dragon's Crown. This was a PlayStation exclusive on both the Vita and PS4 by Atlas. And this is a fantastic medieval fantasy-style side-scrolling beat-em-up. I absolutely freaking love this game, and I played the living crap out of it on my Vita Slim Model 2001 when I first started out going to college. That was my absolute guilty pleasure to play after class. And the last game in my stack is X-Blaze Code Embryo by Axis Games. Now, this is an anime visual novel game by Arc System Works and Axis Games. And if you can believe it or not, the X-Blaze games are prequels to BlazBlue. Don't ask me how or why, but they are. They are a prequel to BlazBlue. But BlazBlue is a 2D fighting game, and this is an anime visual novel game. I don't know. Go figure. I think I paid like $10 or $12 for this at a GameStop. Okay, coming down to the end here. The last 5 games I have, I'll start with the loose cartridge-only games. Sorry about that. So we have Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Need I say more? Lego Jurassic World, World of Final Fantasy, and Criminal Girls Invite Only. That is a JRPG, that is a JRPG, that is a Lego game, and that is a 2D fighting game. The last Vita game I own that I haven't showed yet is Axiom Verge, the Multiverse Edition for PlayStation Vita. And the box is open, but the game itself is still brand new factory sealed. And I did happen to find and buy this at a GameStop. And I think I paid like $20 or $25 for it. All I know about Axiom Verge is that it is a retro-inspired 2D side-scrolling platformer game. Like, almost looks like it's an NES game. Pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of Metroid too. I guess you might even call it a Metroidvania as well. Okay, guys. So without further ado, that was my entire PlayStation Vita game collection. Wow. I did a lot of talking, and that was a lot of games. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think of my PlayStation Vita game collection. Let me know if you have some of these games in your collection as well. And let me know what some of your favorite PlayStation Vita games that I own, that I showed in this video, are. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and take care.